Okay, it's January 2nd on a Friday, second day of 2015, and I pulled the motor on this white 1991 Ford Festiva with the 15-inch tires. Got a couple heaters running. A wonderful, friendly neighbor of mine let me use his garage. Awesome. It's raining outside and cold, but I'm in this garage with two heaters. And anyway, I'm very thankful for that. I pulled the engine, and here's the engine. It was blown. It's spewing oil all over the place. Got it on a bench. I drove it the last 100 miles or so until it finally quit, and then I got it towed 18 miles the rest of the way home. Anyway, I pulled it, and I pulled the motor without pulling the transmission. I left the transmission in. It was a little tricky. Had to tilt the transmission back like so. This transmission easily moves, as you can see, like that. And I pulled it out. Come to find out, well, let me interject by saying I also left the intake manifold on. I removed the exhaust manifold, and I got a lot of my parts over here on the other side of me underneath of this little table. So and so, radiator, starter, intake manifold, exhaust manifold, volume meter, alternator, things like that nature. And what I left in the car was the air compressor right here. I was able to just undo the 4 bolts that hold it in and move it out of the way. Don't forget about undoing this bolt for this bracket for the manifold when you take the motor out. I kind of forgot about that one for a while. Undid the speedometer cable over here. Speedometer cable into the transmission. Really didn't have to, I guess, since I'm not taking the transmission out. So, now what I'm looking at is this CV joint would have been a lot better being out of the way once I removed the motor, because it was kind of hard to tilt it and to separate the engine from the transmission because of the shaft. You have to be careful you don't bend the shaft or damage it in the transmission. So now I'm thinking, before I put the motor into this car, I'll remove the passenger side half axle. I'll just jack it up, take this tire off, pop out the half axle, and what I'm hoping is that it won't be in the way when I go to put the motor in, which will make for better play room, because there's not much room in here back and forth like this. And there it is. I unhooked the wiring harnesses, of course, and something was wrong with the ignition, so we had this cable hooked to one side of the starter and the other side of the starter with a push button to start the car. Brakes were okay. Here's the throttle cable right here, and various components. Anyway, I'm ready to put the motor back into it, but the motor that I'm putting into it is coming from my blue car, and it's a Spire motor, 1995 Spire motor. I got it with 38,000 miles on it. I put about 30,000 miles on it. It's my main Festiva till I bought this white one. And the video's getting kind of long, but anyway, it's raining out, but I'll show you the blue car I'm going to bring into the garage and take its motor out. There it is. Even though it's raining, let me hurry up and show you its motor. My next step is to remove this motor. The spree motor. Dirty looking, I'll shine it up. Great motor. Runs awesome. Got a lot of pickup. I pulled the motor in this car and put this motor in 2 years ago. So my memory has to be jogged a little bit to how I did everything, but anyway. So my next step is to bring this car into the garage and remove this motor. Step number 3 is to put this motor into that white car. So, that's it. And I've got the manual in case I need it. 93 Ford Festiva service manual. So, here I go. Time to roll this car out of the way and bring the blue one in and remove its motor. I did pull the motor less than 24 hours ago, so I should be able to remember a lot of stuff. I'll get back with you soon.